Hello and welcome to the second episode of Rob Makes Prog. Hopefully I've sorted out the microphone problems this time. I've now attached the microphone to a saucepan, which I've put on my desk in the hopes of it being stable and a bit more consistent, because it kept falling off to the side and pointing at my collarbone on the first episode. Again, when I've got my proper mics back, it'll sound a lot better. But for now, here we go. So, last episode, I talked through the initial idea and process I went to create this section here. And then we refined the drums on the last episode and added in these melodic parts here for this bit. So, let's just have a listen through to remind ourselves of what we've got so far. So, that's it so far. So, it sounds good. It doesn't sound great. This bit here is problematic. It's not working for me. I'm not sure why. So, we need to investigate. Let's have a listen back. So, it's coming out of here. Okay, we can hear there. It's missing the note. It needs that tail, I think. It needs the tail of the saxophone and the guitar. Maybe the bass. Maybe the bass doesn't come in straight away. But first of all, let's add in the tail of the sax. So we will grab that from here. Well, I don't know what about note on the end there. Let's see. So we'll plonk that in on the end. And the same with this one, but obviously it's going to be too long for where the guitar comes in. So we'll have to adjust. So let's just scrape it back like that to start with. Let's see how that sounds. That will have changed it. It might not be right yet, but it may well do. It might be the mellotron. We took the mellotron out as well, and that was kind of holding it together. But let's see. Let's go back to the beginning of that section at least. definitely don't want that bloop on the end. I kind of like the... I wonder if the sax can do something like to kind of like build up some excitement there. This is fine. Let's see. That's fine. I don't mind that tailing out like that. Does the bass come in there now? Well, let's think about this bit first, and the mellotron. Like, perhaps this needs a different chord to sort of signify we're going into a different bit. Let's find out. Yeah, I think we could go bo bo bo. So let's reduce it by half. We'll then, yeah, the C was what I was thinking in my head, and the da ba ba. Maybe that's the B. After then, just down the scale. Is that interesting? I don't know. Whatever works. It's not about making it the most complicated thing you possibly can. It's about getting something that complements what's going on around it, whilst remaining interesting. I think what we'll do... Let's test that, and I think I'm going to do a similar thing with the mellotron chords as well. Their timing's wrong. Let's listen again. It feels weird. It feels like it should maybe change there. Which doesn't seems a bit odd, doesn't it? But I also think it needs to go down even further. To the G? To the G. I think it's the G. No. Maybe... This is confusing because it doesn't seem right. None of this seems right yet. Let's mute the part and I'll sing it and see what I'm thinking. That might help a bit. Okay. None of it seems to fit, even my singing. Do, 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 do. I think that's what it's got to do. Is the D too long to allow the rest of it to fit in? I mean, that's got to go there. Do, 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 do. It's tricky. Do, do, do. And that's a long one again. The timing of this is wrong. That doesn't seem right, does it? So let's maybe plonk it there. That kind of looks right in a sort of patterny sort of way, but whether it sounds right or not is another matter. Oh, better unmute it. We can't hear what's going on. That's definitely not right. Does that just go ba-dum? It doesn't feel right either. It's like ba-dum. Maybe I need a lead-in note to it. Oh, not there. And we don't want the velocity doing that either. Why does this keep reverting? Just stay on velocity, please. Maybe even just that. Let's have a look at what's going on here. Ah, okay, okay. Is it that? It's because all the grid's all messed up, isn't it? Oh yeah. Maybe this will work. Maybe we'll just do like a lead into each note like that. We'll extend that out to there. No, that can go back. That can go to there. That can go to there. Oh, maybe. And then we'll have the... We don't want to lead in from there because we've already got the G. So that kind of... So maybe we'll come in from the opposite direction. Let's see what that sounds like. It might sound like crap. But we'll find out now. I feel like the G maybe should come in there. Let's see. Let's try that. I think all these lead-in notes are distracting and not necessary. So we'll try that. Sorry. I just thought it would increase the velocity a bit. Maybe we do that. Do we want that A to go on for that long? Because what we could do, we've got guitar coming in here. We could have that A come out to here, and it kind of like, it doesn't need to go all the way to this bar. I think it would probably be however much breath I can blow it with, so it kind of fade out somewhere along here. That's fine, but then when we get to this bit here, in fact, let's make a cut there so we can, oops, not two cuts, so we can differentiate the parts better. And I think we then do something fun with this. So actually we'll delete that, we'll drag that down there. We'll move it up. What's the original? What's the original key? We're going C, D, and there's an F in it on the A on the outlier. So this is the original key. They're all playing in the same key. So let's make this harmonize. Maybe with the flute's doing, G, A. So that would probably be a seventh. So let's go up a seventh, probably a fifth. I say seventh because it's 7 semitones. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But then it detracts them when it comes back in then because the sax isn't there. So I think that's a mistake. We don't do that. What about the rhythm goes bop 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 bop. What if we did something more stripped back? Dum 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 dum. Mute. Bam, 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 bam. So it'd be, so if we stripped all of that out and that A there as well, what's that? What we're left with? Oh, odd. Sounds odd. I quite like it, but I'm not sure if it's right. I don't know. I think it would have to come back in there as well. No, do you know what? I think we don't need a part there. I think that's just overcooking a already quite dense pudding, as it were. But what we have got is a chord progression here that this mellotron can sort of go with. And I mean, I'm not good at chords. I kind of just guess them. So let's go down to here. What notes have we got in this? And so we've got D, C, B, and then G into the A there. And this is a... God, is this a D chord? I think that's a D chord. And then we've just got that A there. I don't think it's A, D, F. And then with an extra A on top. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. That's what it sounds like. Let's duplicate that. And then we will half it. We will take it in by 1. We'll take that and we'll move that over there. So that's our lead in, and then we're going to move this whole thing down. So if it's D, we want the C there. I don't know if this is going to work because we're not using A sharps very often, so I might have to move this down to lead into that chord to there. I think that would make sense. It kind of like matches up with what's going on there. It feels like then that lead in is going to, as that's going down, that lead in is... Ooh. Where's that going then? So that's A, so that'd be G? Yeah. Well, let's... And then, well, I've got this lead in here as well. And that's on the F. Because those are matching up with these here. I don't know how smooth that sounds. I think it'll sound really smooth. Let's see. Ooh. So that D sharp is... Oh, it's kind of nice. It gives a real spooky quality. I don't know. Is that working? Like, I guess really it should be there. Let's just see if that sounds better. I've got a feeling it won't. I think I've got a feeling it'll sound a little bit more tame. Oh no, that does sound better. That sounds much more intentional, I think. Despite it not being. I mean, with the MIDI, it always just sounds like a level on Sonic the Hedgehog. Like whatever you do, until you actually start adding in real instruments. This mellotron is probably the best emulator I could find without actually going to purchase a real mellotron, which is beyond my budget. Most things are beyond my budget, to be honest. But since it's a sort of synthy machine anyway, I kind of think that's one of the only things I can actually utilize that isn't a real instrument. So we go down again by 2 maybe, but this is then short. These are shortened a lot to this length. Let's see how this goes. So we're listening to the sax in conjunction with that as well, which is quite quiet on this bit because of the velocity I've put them at. I might just bump them up a little, just so we can hear them against the mellotron. Ooh, that's not right, is it? There, but with that there, and that there. Let's try that. No, that's not right at all. That's not right at all. Maybe what we do is goes ba-na, 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 da-da. So maybe the leading goes down on the mellotron on this one instead. Maybe it does that. That's not going down, is it? Ooh, what's going on with these lead-ins then? So I don't want that to be there, do I? Because that's just a... let's see. Maybe I do. Ba-nom. It's weird. This is what happens when you blindly stumble around in the dark trying to work out chords. But it's just a matter of getting it right, getting the taste right. So I'm using a B here, so perhaps we should be using some sort of B chord. We haven't got any B's in here. We need to release the B's into this chord. Oh, and then we add that on, then that's like adding the ninth on the top, isn't it? That's quite nice. Didn't mean to do that, meant to just... That's quite nice, isn't it, with that going up to that. And that going down to that. Oh, but are they far enough away that they will... It's giving a nice sort of feel to it that isn't... I feel like these are chords we can use later in a slower bit as well. I think these are kind of like... It's quite haunting, isn't it? Will it sound right against the rest of the track? Let's see. It might sound terrible, but I quite like the chords. Quite like what I've discovered there. It's like unearthing things. It's like chipping away at a I don't know, piece of plaster and discovering the chicken bones you put there earlier. If you've ever bought one of those dig out your own fossil kits when you were a kid. I quite like that. And then it's got to change sort of immediately then into to that G, to a G chord, so some sort of G chord down there. So we'll follow our usual method. We'll copy that across, and we'll take that bottom note down to... Oh, do we move up to a G like that? Take that as a G, and we got do do do. Okay, so if it's G A, is E the inversion? That's quite nice. But then if we want the... Let's drop that G there then. Down to the... Don't ask me what... I'm sure people watching will have a better idea of what actual chords I'm using here. I'm just again... That's nearly the same chord, isn't it? Like what we've moved is... Those are the same notes. Those are the same notes. That's kind of split into either way, there or there. I'm not sure. Obviously, that's actually moved to there. That's moved to there, and they correspond like that. But like when they move like that, yeah, they kind of feel like they family. They belong together in some way. So if we can try to drag that up into there. Or I don't know. I don't know where the leading notes are going to feel most comfortable here. Maybe like that. Or would that be better there? Let's see what that sounds like. From here. Oh, that sounds terrible. That is not right at all. That is not the right choice of chord. We take out the leading notes, don't we? We don't want the leading notes for one thing, because we've taken them out. Taken them out on the sax track there, because it sounded a bit clunky, and I think it sounds clunky here as well. I don't think this is the right chord, but now I've taken them out, you may as well listen to the difference. Yeah, that's that minor chord, isn't it? So, because I flattened that third, well, in the G, I flattened that third. So that's actually the major chord now. Maybe we add in that E as well. Let's see. Okay, let's just see what that sounds like. I think this is going to sound not so good. I don't think this is going to. It doesn't feel like it's got the right progression, but I'm just going to. It's going to go for it anyway, because I need to try and imagine what the next chord should be like. On here, it was a G, wasn't it? I like that was using a G. Yeah. Okay. What about that? What if we take off that bottom? That sounds quite nice. We've added in the seventh there, haven't we? Or is that the seventh? That might be the seventh. I'm not very sure. I'm never good at this. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that? Or is it this for them? That's like. That's the seventh, isn't it? Because of the F sharp in a G scale. Yeah. That's a minor seventh, which is kind of more bluesy, which is not what we're looking for. Apologies if I'm mangling all this terminology. I'm kind of learning it. Learning the saxophone has made me appreciate that I need to learn all of these things and learn how chords are constructed and things, rather than just learning a shape on the guitar and moving it up and down the neck. Yeah, so that's the seventh chord. Okay, let's try that. Let's try that. It kind of sounds weird, but I think with a resolving chord after it, it's going to sound alright. And I think we will resolve it into a major. Yeah. Maybe this. What? I'm sure this goes to an A on here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's got that sort of like hopeful, like the feeling of this song so far is kind of like it's bright and optimistic and hopeful. There's a bit of an edge under there. It's like escaping the danger zone or something like that. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what this track's going to end up being called as well? At the moment, it's called Ruminator, because that's the first word I thought of when I had to save the file, but it means nothing to me. So until the song takes shape and gains its own character, it'll be Ruminator, but then once it's sort of revealed itself, it'll get a new suitable name. Right, so I've got an idea. So I think that sounds kind of good. It's kind of weird that it stops there, right? And it's got nothing here and here. But I think that works because what I want to do is when I record these, I want these to be sort of hushed. I want them to be like, it's all quite bold and brash at this end, but by the time it gets to here, it's going to bring it really kind of quiet and get everything to I'll play everything very, very lightly on the guitars and the bass and the flute, so that when it comes back in here, it's going to be really loud again. So I could do that with the velocities, couldn't I? Let's do that. Same on the drums. I mean, it's going to be a bit uniform. It's really difficult to do like all of them at once. It doesn't like you to do that very much, especially on the drums. Can you see there's a lot of just, well, we'll just do that. It's like, it's better. And then I'll do it on the bass as well. Will it let me do them all? Oh, is there a way I can just turn that off? I just want it to be velocity. Okay. Oh, you can do this, can't you? I forget. You can kind of just do that. It's quite cool. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to sound good, but what it'll do is remind me that that's what I always wanted to do. That's what this will do. So that when I come to record it, and I think, why is everything getting quiet? Oh yes, it's because I wanted to do that. So we'll put in the velocity here. I bet there's a way you can set that up, but I'm always in the flow of doing what I'm doing and never think of doing it when I'm not. Okay, let's see what happens here. It's not doing what I'm imagining at all. That's fine. It'll have to do. But when that drum beat comes in, that's going to be, I think, like we need a lead. We've got a lead in note, but we haven't got a lead in a drum. So if we have just a snare hit, maybe. Oh yeah, that sounds better. Right, so that was the other thing, was as the sax comes in here, I want to add in another part here, so that there's something being added every time. And so the second guitar can come in and do something here. It could mirror the guitar. It could just do exactly what it could mirror the sax and do exactly what the sax is doing, but at a lower octave, and it'll sound like this. Without that, we'd have to put that in there as well, and drop those down by an octave. And that's all well and good, but what we wanted to do, wasn't it, was this is the bass part is the most dense and has the most notes going on, and when the guitar comes in, it's a bit more open. The sax is a bit more open, so I think this should be a bit more open as well. So what we want to do then is cut out some notes, essentially, to start with, and then see if we're harmonising them in a fun way that doesn't detract from what else is going on. So let's have a listen again. So it's the The instrument in the left ear is what we're looking at here, if I'm right. Yeah. Ba 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 ba. So it could be just ba ba ba. Could just be ba ba ba. And then what? That's always the question. Dub da dub 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 da 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 da. Let's cut that out. Let's see what happens here. Dub. Let's cut that out. Bub. Let's cut that leading note out there. Well, what about this? I quite like that. Let's see. What I really like is this note here. So there's a gap. There's like a little bit of a funny pause here before all the G comes in. I really like that. So I wonder if we can get that anywhere else. Maybe by taking the C away and then just going bub bub. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's kind of nice. It's like on the offbeat almost. Almost? Maybe it is. Bub. But might add that leading note back in, so it kind of helps it sync back up again a bit. Maybe take that out. Bub 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 bub. Oh, maybe I'll do that. That kind of works. But the notes, I don't think the notes are quite right. I think they're a bit like this G. I don't want this to be two Gs there. Maybe that. Yeah, I took out the A here, didn't I? Maybe I'll do that there. Maybe that would work. Oh no, it doesn't. What about that? Sounds a little bit off there, doesn't it? It doesn't quite sound right around this area. What have we got? Okay, maybe it's that. Maybe it is that. Maybe it's that. Maybe that was. Excuse me. I need a drink of water there. Okay, so. Does it need to jump up to there? That's nice. Or maybe the G. And so we've got that progression going down from that A to G. And then the E and the D are fine. I think they're fine. I think that's pretty much there though. Maybe the F. Let's try that. No. The G then. Okay. The other thing is, does it belong there, or can it be... Let's try that. Up an octave. This feels a bit... It doesn't feel as cohesive. I think I'll keep it where it was. So... Yeah, I think that seems right. So, okay, so that's given us a bit more structure here, a bit more structure here. Do we... The other thing I was wondering is, do we cut that out? Cut that out. Extend that back out. Put in the... Do we do that, basically? Do we get those to come in gradually as they go as well? I don't know. Let's find out. I think these last chords... It's got to have that lead-in note. It does on the sax. I think. Oh, they just go... These just extend into that. Sounds odd. Something sounds odd there, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. So let's listen again. Actually, that sounds really nice, because then you get the bass and the drums coming in where... So it sounds like it's going to do the same thing again, but actually when it changes, you get that chord change with the mellotron and the sax and the second guitar. Really hear the second guitar very well. Is it doing exactly the same as the sax there? Yeah. Okay. But it's going up? Okay. See what that sounds like. Oh yeah, it's giving it. Listen to that in the right ear there. It's giving a sort of like a more of an ethereal feel to it. Ooh, the C sharp? No. The C or the D? The D sounds more resolute and triumphant. A little bit more cheese. The C though. And, it gives a bit more sort of like melancholy undertones to it, and a kind of a bit of uncertainty as to where it's going, I think, and I really like that. when that comes in there, that's going to sound great. If you imagine that with real bass, real guitar, and real flute on it, obviously it sounds like like Sonic the Hedgehog. But that might be the next stage, is just to see what this sounds like with the real instruments. We'll see. Depends where it goes next, really. Then okay, so I feel like there's one question to ask over here at the moment, at the beginning of the song, and that is: do we have the bass bit go twice on its own, or just start from here? Does it just go from here? Everything build up from there, or does it go twice? I think it goes twice is my gut feeling, but I'll need to let's see. Or does it, sorry, if you were listening to that, does it start like that, without any drums, and then the drums kick in on the second one? So it's a bass starting song. It just does this weird run by itself. And maybe without the mellotron as well. So. And then the drums go bang. Then the drums go bang. Not sure. There's the other option again, I guess, is we get rid of the bass. We just have the drums go. Obviously the drums will sound much better than that when a real drummer has worked out something they can actually play over it, rather than just some nonsense I've programmed in. So you've got to use your imagination a bit. But for now, I'm going to leave it as two of those as were. I think the mellotron can stay there as well. I don't know. We'll come back to that. Oh, by the way, I'm pre-recording these, so it'd be great to hear your ideas and things like that, but I probably won't listen to them. I'm probably just going to do whatever the hell I want to do, regardless of anything anyone says, because that's how I've always been. So I'm sorry about that. And even if hundreds of people are telling me something is a bad idea, that'll probably just encourage me to do it more. So on that note, let's move on. So last time we did these bits, and I think they're both sounding really cool, and at the very end I swapped them over so that the guitar and the sax swap parts, and I think that sounds really good as well, and it'll sound like you can repeat it and you can repeat the parts but do them differently, essentially, and they'll have a different flavour, because obviously as you're playing the sax, you're going to be slurring different notes together than you would on the guitar, because they're played so very differently. You're going to get a really different feel from them. It might sound almost incomprehensibly different, or they might sound so in sync that you won't notice the difference. So there's that as well. It's worth. Let's have a listen. But it comes in without anything. I think this is quite strong. This is sounding quite strong to me. It's a very simple part. Everything's syncing up together. Nothing's really jarring against each other. It's quite different to this whole beginning bit. So I think that's where, like, people who just want to bang their head along to a tune, they can do that on this bit if they want. It kind of gives me I don't know, I start banging my head to it as well. If you, it's like, oh, it feels nice, I like it. Right, but then we get onto this bit, so. Yeah, sounds great. And then the switched over parts. I mean, I'm happy with that. I like the fact that it's repeating. We could do some different chords, I suppose, but I don't think it's necessary. I think like that. I think just switching the instruments over is enough to kind of give it flavour. I think when I'm playing these parts on like the guitar, playing this bit. That's going to get a bit boring to play. So I'll probably start like improvising around this. So always I think of these as skeletal. They're skeletal structures, or skeletal. I don't know how you say it, but so they're all. There's always the opportunity to improvise around them and actually play them in as a piece with feeling, rather than just trying to copy what I've done on the MIDI. But that'll be the basic thing. Everything will sync up, but on like this bit at the very end here, maybe I'll do something a little bit different, like something like that. Especially on this bit where these can sync up. These can sync up quite well with these, as they do already, I think, whether by design or accident, I can't remember. So yeah, and the same on the bass here as well. The bass could be a bit like, I think it's going to start off with this the punchiness that it's already got here. But when it gets to these chord bits, perhaps it becomes a bit more languid. Perhaps these, perhaps we can do things like that. And then here, what have we got? We've got a B. Well, it depends what we're following. Yeah, D and a B. Let's follow this part. And we can drag. Oops, where's B? There it is. After A, not before it. I used to be a librarian, you know. And then we'll keep that leading note. We'll take out those three. So. And then whatever this note is, I don't know if that's going to be. Oh, that's the side. We've got A, G, and F. Maybe they'll be better to go with than D, B, and A. But we'll find out. We'll do. So that'll be A to there. Is that right? Ooh, no, just to there. Or what if we go A? This can all easily be undone, thankfully. And then we add in the G there. So the G would go there. Oh no, it would not. It would go there. With that leading note, so we'd get rid of those. And then we've got another A coming in there. So we'd take out those. Okay, let's see what that sounds like. It might sound absolutely terrible, but this is why we try things. I mean, it didn't sound awful. Like, the first bit sounded pretty good, I think. But no, I like that. Is that right? Is the A right there? Let's try that. Let's just check what the sax notes are doing there. Oh, right, we've got an F sharp and a D. F sharp and a D. Let's try that. That's a lot, so maybe we'll go... Ooh. Let's see. Well, we'll try it down here first. That means that's the low D. That's going to be on the B string, basically, which is always fun to mix. Okay, I like that. That sounds nice. We've got a mix then, haven't we? We've got the note that it's sharing with the guitar part here. We've got some notes that it's then sharing with the sax part here, but I'm not sure this D is right. Let's try again. I kind of want it to be F. I'm not sure about that. Let's see. Oh, that F was right. That F sounds good. That A isn't. C, but let's go G. But then I know that sounds odd there, but I just heard it in my imagination. So let's see if I can translate my imagination that I've forgotten about because I'm talking. Ooh, that's a tricky thing when I'm doing this, isn't it? Distracting myself. Boom. Something like that. I think that's what I'm imagining. Yeah. That's not bad at all. Okay, I'm excited about that. Okay. And we've got more of this we can do with. When it gets to this bit, I don't know what I'm going to do on the bass, but I like this. I like how it's going. So what we'll do is we'll start editing this one as well in a similar way. So I think sharing notes between this and this is good. So instead of flitting back and forth between the two, I can actually open them all at once, can't I? And then I can see what's what. Yeah, that's much easier. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. Workflow on Cubase. It's, I do like to make things as hard as I possibly can for myself, it seems. So we've got an E and an A. What's so if we stick with the guitar first, we've got an A. We've got an A going up to the D. The sax, we've got an E going up to the A. And the bass is stuck on a D here with that thing. It's kind of strange. So where would the D be? It'd be like here. So so I think if we go to the E, do that. Ooh, that's wrong, isn't it? I think we stick with the D, to be honest. Which is different again, but I think kind of makes sense. D or an A here. Oh, you want it to kind of... I don't know if this is going to be right. Let's find out. It's kind of like, it seems like a big jump. I'm not sure if that... It might work better on an actual bass than it sounds here. Well, it could go down, couldn't it? Let's see if it goes down. Oh, yeah. That works. And then we got ba-na-bum, bum. Goes do-do-do-do, or da-da-da-da. I think the stronger line is that one, whereas that one's more of the complement line. So we'll try and go with that. So that's a C. Okay. Ooh, but then that lead-in note doesn't lead in very well. Okay, maybe it will be fine. Let's not worry too much. Well, it changes though, doesn't it? So what if we go? What if we see that whole thing there? Da-dum. C B G A C B G A B. Don't let 'em. I think we're going to lead into that there. I think that's good. We'll keep that. That goes to the A. If we just do A like that. No, it's ooh. Let's see what works here. I think that kind of worked better than I was imagining. No. Maybe D. Maybe it goes back to the D there. And then yeah, that works. And I think the bass then sticks with this crunchy part. But then when it gets back to this bit, we get these parts again. Oh. Oops. we go. Right, okay, let's have a listen to that. So I think that's made I think the guitar and the flute part are holding it together very well. And the bass is here as well, but when the bass switches to that, I think these bits are kind of anchoring it to that theme as well, because this is kind of like a hybrid bit now, isn't it? So we've got some of these long notes, but with the in betweens. It kind of feels like it's all stuck together. It's kind of all glued in a good way. I think so. Right, okay, let's listen to it. That sounded damn good to me. I'm pleased with that. Again, all of this is subject to change. I might listen to it 10 times and think, actually, that sounds terrible. What was I thinking? And change it all. But for now, that sounded really good. The mellotrons, I don't think it's needed here. I think it's dense enough already with things going on, so I'll leave the mellotron out there. But it might be good to have a change now. We've done enough here. Vocals, maybe, could go after or in between, or even on these chordy bits here. The space for them anyway, like they'll fit in somewhere. Could be on these bits, like could be there, or it could be on these bits. I don't know. Something like that there. I mean, my singing is obviously not in tune. It's something I have to really work at, my singing. It's not something I'm naturally good at. It's something I have to really practice. So don't expect my pipes to be in working order in these videos until I come to record anyway, and then I'll be practicing. So I think it's got it right. So it's got it like theme-wise and feeling-wise. It's kind of like it's got a little edge to it. It's got that minor riff in the background, but it's kind of got a lot of sort of like that sort of harmonized optimism in there as well. It's kind of like it's quite optimistic, I think. So I think I will leave it there for today. I'm going to be really thinking about. Oh yeah. So the feeling of this is quite. It's got a little bit of an edge to it with that sort of minor riff going on in the background, but there's quite a lot of optimism going on with the harmonies and everything like that. And there's some interesting journeying going on in this bit as well, as I like to call it. There's a lot of fun stuff in here. I really like. But I think it's going to need to switch up tones a little bit. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really repetitive, and we don't want that. It's repetitive enough with all of these repetitive bits. So when it comes to the next section here, I've got to really, really think about that. So I'll come back to that, I think. After I've got to really kind of imagine where it's going to lead next. I feel like a bit of mellotron there, maybe like a calming down of pace. Atmospheric bit, and maybe it goes a bit darker. Maybe there's even acoustic guitar in there. Maybe acoustic guitar and mellotron, or maybe really heavy maybe really heavy guitars, in a sort of doomy, atmospheric way, but I'm not sure yet. So I'll have a good think about that before I come back to it. So yeah, I think that's enough for today. I say today, I'll probably do some more later, but for this episode, that's enough for this episode. So yeah, I think that's enough for this episode, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much.